Hey guys, welcome back to my latest video. I'm sorry I didn't put up my reaction yesterday. Like I said I would, but I didn't have much time to edit it. But I will probably leave the full reaction down in the description below. So anyway, today we are taking a look at the 2021 Doctor Who special Revolution of the Daleks. There'll be lots of spoilers, so if you haven't watched the episode and you want to, then I would suggest you do so now. Okay, so let's begin with the main characters. And we'll start off with the lady herself, the Doctor. I thought this is probably Jodie Whittaker's best performance as the Doctor. Like, I really felt her presence as the Doctor. Like, I've been struggling. Like, I think every Doctor has that moment where you go, yes, they are the Doctor. I understand the character. I get their emotion, the way they act. I hadn't had a moment with Jodie yet. I'd gotten close in series 12 with some of her reactions to the Master, but it was just like kind of like, oh, she's talking to the Master. It's just written how any other Master interaction would go. This story gave me that moment where I went, yes, Jodie is the Doctor. So yeah, I really think that's something great about this story. Especially her reaction to the Return of the Daleks. I thought it was a lot more intense and powerful than when she first encountered them. Seeing her life in prison was pretty cool, and I liked her meeting all the classic monsters. You got some Silence, Weeping Angels, Sycorax, Ood. I just thought it was random and so much. Bating. It was just so exciting to see all these old monsters coming back for the special. Oh yeah. I really liked her reaction to spoiler alert, Ryan and Graham leaving. I like how she was like happy but also sad, and when they asked her why, she was like, "Oh, I've got two hearts. One heart can be happy, one heart can be sad." I thought it was just a cool idea. The Doctor can be both sad and happy because he's got two hearts or she's got two hearts. I just thought it was a really cool idea. The Doctor did get out of prison a lot sooner than I expected. What I thought was she'd be in prison for the whole episode, and Captain Jack would take um like he would take over as the like doctor role for the episode until the end. She got out sooner, which I'm kind of glad because you got to have all the interactions with the companions, the villains, the guest stars. I thought it was really nice, so I'm actually kind of glad she got out sooner. Um, yeah, and I also loved her sort of interactions with Jack, Yaz, but particularly that of Ryan. I really liked her interactions with Ryan, which is a great segue because now we're going to talk about the fam, and we'll start with Ryan. So the first, yeah, he's the first fan member we're going to talk about. Um, I actually think he was my favorite companion this episode. Which is strange because I don't think I've actually seen anyone ever call him their favorite companion of the fam, which I find really disappointing because I thought Tosin Cole put his all into the performance this episode. The clear struggle of him not wanting to travel in the TARDIS was brilliantly performed. And that heart to heart with the Doctor halfway through, I thought was really nice and something like I've been yearning for with those two characters to have an interaction. And when they finally did have a heart to heart, it was an emotional powerhouse. It was nice to see him get an emotional send off. Plus, I think someone said on Twitter I saw the first time since Martha Jones a companion has chosen to leave. All of the Moffat era, the companion and Donna were all forced to leave either through dying or some time majiggy. I don't know, but it's nice to have a companion leave of their own choosing. I just thought it was really nice. But we shall move on to Yaz, who has previously always been my least favourite of the trio. But I've come to somewhat like her. Like I'm not like a big fan, but I somewhat like her. I think she's all right now. She still isn't my favourite, but I thought she had some great character moments, particularly in this episode. Once again, the heart to heart was a big sell point when she has a heart to heart with Captain Jack. I think Chibnall's really good at these emotional heart to hearts. I think they're it's where he wins as a writer. Um, her adventurous side is at full force in the episode, which I also really like. But I did like her reaction when the doctor's like, "Oh, I've been in prison for like decades," and Yaz like aggressively pushes her. I was like, "Wow, the doctor's just been like in prison for possibly hundreds of years, and your reaction is to like what like be mean to her." I didn't like that, and it didn't fit in with the companions' characterizations for the rest of the episode. They were just all really angry in that like one scene. I didn't like that. Now for the final member of the fam, Graham. Um, I think he actually had the least to do in the story. I don't just mean out of the fam. I mean literally out of any of the characters. But I think that's because they had Jack back, they had the Daleks, they got three sort of guest villains, so many actors to handle. So I just think that Graham, unfortunately, he just had to be weaved in there somehow. He didn't really have much to add to the plot. Um, Saying that though, I really enjoyed his performance. The conflict at the end when Ryan wants to leave, and of course Graham wants to go with his grandson, but at the same time he really wants to stay on the TARDIS and have more adventures. I thought Bradley Walsh really acted that scene amazingly. Um, I am sad that Graham chose to leave. He was the one I was mostly sad about because I love Graham, I love Bradley Walsh, but they can't stay around forever. But I'm glad that him and Ryan are probably going to go off and have some adventures away from Doctor Who. Um, oh yeah, and the final scene where we see Ryan and Graham seeing like Grace as sort of a ghost as they're practicing riding a bike, like they did when we first met them at the start of the Jodie era. I thought it was really poetic and sort of it made their story come full circle, and I personally really enjoyed that element of the story. Okay, now it's time for our guest stars, and we start with our guest companion, none other than John Barrowman himself, Captain Jack Harkness. My God, it was so much fun to have Jack back. I have missed him. Like, I know he was in Features of the Doom, but it was like 5 minutes of screen time. But having him back for a full episode is amazing. John Barrowman really excels in the role as usual, putting in his all, and I love seeing his interactions with the cast. He gets loads of silly moments, like you would hope Jack would, but he also gets some really touching ones, like I said with Yaz. When he first meets the Doctor at the start of the story, I thought there were some really nice interactions. Um, oh yeah, and he name drops Rose Tyler and Gwen Cooper, so I couldn't be more happy. Um, a great character, and I loved him. But I will say, I'm a bit confused why they brought him back. Um, like I get it's Captain Jack, and it's cool, and I was super happy to see him. But with the Doctor getting out of prison so soon, it's not like he was filling in for the Doctor's shoes. So it was kind of just like, let's bring back Captain Jack for the episode. Like he didn't seem needed. But I don't want to sound negative because I loved him in the episode. But like, why was he here? I don't get why they brought him back. Besides maybe helping the Doctor get out of prison, which could have been done by anyone else, and the Doctor could have done it herself. There was no real story purpose to bring him back. But like I said, it's John Barrowman, it's Captain Jack. He's amazing. He was written amazing. I knew he'd be written good because Chibnall actually wrote for Torchwood, Jack's spin-off, and Torchwood was really good. So I knew that he wouldn't write Jack bad, and Jack wasn't written bad, and he was amazing, and Jack's awesome, Jack's awesome, Jack's awesome. I'm sorry, I really like Jack. So yeah, speaking of Jacks, we have another Jack to talk about, Jack Robertson, who you probably remember was the Trump guy from that awful, I don't want to swear, but let's just say it was a very, 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 very bad episode of the Jodie era. Of course, he wasn't who I was excited to have back. The Trump guy from a rubbish episode. He's not who we want back. But I found him to be amazing in this story. 90% of the laugh out loud jokes were from him. I found him just really funny. He was quite humorous. Um, but he also has some really serious moments as he starts off like this comic relief bad guy building these Daleks. He doesn't really know that he's building Daleks. He just thinks he's building defense drones. But then by the end of the story, he's like teaming up with the actual Daleks to help take over Earth. I like how he goes from just this cowardly businessman to this cruel villain. I just thought that was really nice. Um, and I like the greedy businessman style of Doctor Who villains. I think that harked back to the John Pertwee era, because that was mostly set on Earth, having like the evil businessmen. I thought that was really nice. I think he genuinely is probably the best part of the episode. I actually just loved his character. Since he didn't die and didn't get like punished for all the nasty things he's done, I don't feel his story's over, and I'm really, 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 really hoping he comes back at least at least one more episode to conclude his story. And if not, I hope he comes back for like 3, maybe 4 episodes, maybe have him be the whole through every Jodie season, because I really like his character. Now we talk about the other 2 guest stars who don't get as much to do, but I'll talk about them briefly. You have Leo, who's sort of Robertson's partner in crime. He was cool, and I liked seeing the recon scout from last year sort of take control of him. But like there wasn't much for him to do. Then the Prime Minister, I can't remember her name. I think it's Jo. I'm gonna say it's Jo. Anyway, I really enjoyed her performance. Like it was really nice. Um, but it was like you could kind of tell the part had been written for the Prime Minister when Theresa May was still Prime Minister. Sort of her personality, being a woman, the sort of things she does, sort of similar to Theresa, all about sort of the police and defence and all that, were lots of things that happened when Theresa May was Prime Minister. So you could kind of tell Chibnall was writing the series while Theresa May was still in power. So that's like my only little nitpick with the Prime Minister character. Okay, now let's talk about the actual villains. The Daleks. So there are 2 types of Daleks in the story. We'll start with the first one. The Impure Daleks, because they're not quite Daleks, or as the humans call them, defense drones. I really like their design. They're like ugly, but that's because it was built by humans who based it off a junk Dalek. Like I really like the sort of weird human-y element to it. Like it's bad because if we genuinely gave, I don't know, like Elon Musk asked him to design a Dalek, it would look crap. It would look too future-y and techy. It wouldn't look Dalek-like, and that's what I love because it's kind of that's what it should be if it were built by humans. So I really liked that element of the story. Um, I liked that they like shot water out of their laser guns until the the like impure Dalek mutants took control. Um, Oh, and then things got awesome. They switched colours from like these like black Daleks with like blue lights, and then when they turn evil, they have these like red. They switched to sort of a red light. Um, and I thought that was really cool. Then the Doctor figures out she can't actually stop a whole army of like 1,000 Daleks, so she summons a battleship full of SAS Daleks, who they're basically just bronze Daleks with a claw arm, which is awesome. I'm glad the plunger's gone. Um, so yeah, watching the 2 Dalek factions fight was pretty amazing. If not just taken from the Big Finish audio Brothers of the Daleks, which is kind of about these scientists creating some impure Daleks, and then the normal Dalek shop to kill the impure Daleks. It's a great Big Finish story. You should probably watch, but they, I mean, listen to. You can't watch an audio adventure. I don't know what I'm on about, but yeah. It was sort of repeat off of that, but I don't mind because I did enjoy. There was other unique things to the story. Okay, my overall thoughts. What did I think? I loved this episode. The acting was top notch, and the visuals were absolutely amazing. I only have one gripe, and that's I think it's too short. It's an hour and 10 minutes long, which may seem long, but it's not. The first 45 minutes are pure build up, and every minute is great. We get Jack, the Doctor, the companions. It's all really nice 45 minutes. Then the Daleks go full evil, and you only have 25 minutes until the episode ends, 10 of which is all the goodbyes and sort of tying things up. So you just have 15 minutes of the Daleks, and that's it. I would have had it be 90 minutes, like an episode of Sherlock, had 45 minutes set up like they did, 35 minutes of fighting the Daleks, and then your 10-minute conclusion. I think that would have been a better paced episode, would have given you more time with the build up. You could have had, the same amount of time with the build up, but more Daleks. I just think that would have been cooler. Anyway, that's my opinion on the Doctor Who 2021 special. Please leave in the comments your opinion on the 2021 special. Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? Are you a Not My Doctor? Do you hate it because women? Or do you hate it because you thought it was badly written? One of those is a fair opinion, one of them isn't. Did you love it? Did you think it was okay? You didn't love it, you didn't hate it. Did you just think it was an average Doctor Who Dalek story? I don't know. I want to hear from you. please leave a comment. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.